This one was an interesting topic. I saw this a couple of days ago, and this was surrounding Rob Markman having a comment about Adin Ross. And he didn't take too kindly about what Adin Ross said about hip hop. He said hip hop was dead, and this was during Adin Ross's and Drake's Christmas stream. So they did that. Rob was like, he didn't say anything disrespectful either. He didn't say anything disrespectful, and we'll watch the video in a second. So, he came in here respectfully. He was like, I don't agree with, what Adin Ross was saying. Like, he didn't disrespect him. He didn't try to, downplay, his role in, streaming world, or, him just being overall like a successful, creator. But, with that being said, then Flacco, who is Protect Flacco, I know him mostly from Adam 22 and the No Jumper podcast. He replied to this tweet and he said, "Can someone explain to me how Rob Markman is more hip-hop than Adin Ross? This isn't hate, it's general curiosity. I don't dislike that man, I'm just wondering. Without context, this sounds like two white boys comparing who hang out with more cool black folks." So there are a lot of things wrong with this, right? There are a lot of things wrong with this. First of all, he doesn't know who Rob Markman is. If you are a hip-hop lover, you know who Rob Markman is. Rob Markman is a pillar in the hip-hop industry and the hip-hop culture. I mean, this man literally wrote for Genius. Like, I don't think you can get more hip-hop than that. You literally have to listen to these songs thousands of times and put the lyrics on the website. Like, Genius is still around, and you have other actual DSPs that use Genius, for the lyrics. Like, if you actually go to the lyrics on Spotify or Apple Music, like, they use Genius to get the lyrics on there. So clearly Flacco does not know who Rob Markman is. Second of all, he said this man is white. Rob Markman is not white. Oh, you sit there and look at him like, this man ain't white. So I was like, bro, this is again another situation where someone is young, like these YNs, and they think that they know about hip-hop culture because they talk about it, and you may hang out with some rappers, you may have interviewed some rappers, but you ain't really hip-hop. Like, hip-hop and the entire culture, I will say this, it will be extremely difficult for a YN to be like, hey, I am more hip-hop than this OG over here, because he has lived, or she has lived longer than you. They have experienced more than you. So it'll be very, very difficult to be like, hey, I am more hip hop than this person just because X, Y, and Z. Like, this is just one of those things. We talk about gatekeeping all the time. You need to respect your elders. It's going to be very difficult to try to one up them or claim to have more knowledge in hip hop than them. It's just almost impossible. I don't have as much hip hop knowledge as Rob Markman. I consider myself a hip hop head, a hip hop lover. I listen to a lot of hip hop. I grew up with it, so it's my favorite genre. But even I will say I don't know more than Rob Markman. You have to respect the OGs, bro. Like, I'm tired of these YNs like bringing up the conversation again. Like he said, a general curiosity, but I responded and I'm like, bro. And let me pull up my tweet here. I'm like, dude, there's no way that you're asking this question like and being genuine with it. I get it. People try to hide behind, it's not hate, it's a general curiosity. But I said this is such a YN question, such a young nigga question, and shouldn't even be a question at all. If you knew about Rob, you wouldn't even be asking. One lives, breathes, and respects all things hip hop. One started off as a 2K streamer and has gotten into multiple beats for not respecting hip hop culture. You have to understand, if Adin was, again, a little bit older, a little bit more seasoned, not just I like hip hop, then the beef that he got in, the ones where he, saying lyrics and he's not understanding that the person whose lyrics that he's saying is dissing the ops, and then the ops comes at you and like, yo, I heard that, like, why are you saying those lyrics on stream, for thousands of people to see? Like, you don't know any better. Other rappers have pulled up on Adin. He got into it with Polo G before. Like, all those things, again, like, you don't see, well, it hasn't gotten to that point, but even Kai, has gotten into some situations. Again, these YNs, I get it. Like, y'all are out of the stratosphere, and rappers and whoever manages them, they come to them, for that notoriety with the younger crowd. But I don't consider any of them, again, no disrespect, I don't consider any of them real hip-hop lovers. Like, y'all aren't journalists, y'all haven't lived long enough to solidify yourself as a pillar in hip-hop. Again, you are hip-hop because that's what you like, and people flock to you because they want to get with that younger crowd. But y'all ain't hip-hop for real. Like, you cannot one up, you cannot step over your OGs. You have to live a certain amount of time. You have to experience. You have to go back. I highly doubt that Adin and Kai, again, no disrespect, but I highly doubt that Adin and Kai and a lot of YNs go back and do your history and do your research on where hip hop started, the five pillars of hip hop, who was hot back then, how the record labels worked back then. Y'all don't do that stuff. Y'all just listen to whatever you're listening to right now, and then you get those comments like what Kai said, which I took offense to. Who was Killer Mike? Because he won a Grammy for best hip hop album, and you're wondering who Killer Mike is. That's how you get those situations. Because you're asking those questions, and again, you don't mean any harm. But when you ask those questions or have those statements, then this is how you create that divide between the YNs and the OGs. And that's why the OGs be mad at you. We had this conversation before when Joe Budden had to come at Kai, and then Adin had a problem with him too, and they were both cursing him out and saying, hey, I got more money than you, blah blah blah. So again, because of what you say, this is how you start these things. But let's watch the video real quick. You say you just finished Kiwami 2 and it was great. Kiwami 2 was amazing. 3 Yakuza games so far. All right, Dale, I see you. But let's look at this video real quick, and then we will continue on with my thoughts.
Something from Drake and Adin Ross on the stream, like, lifts people's spirits. I think it's cool. I'm not mad at it, man. There was a bit of trolling. They had fun with it. Drake almost said Kendrick's name, right? There was that clip, and he stopped himself. Trolly shit like that, but things that get people going. But there was no real harm, no real foul, man. Nothing kind of to report there, right? The one thing that struck me, though, is the part when Adin Ross declared rap dead. He was like, rap's dead, bro. I'm sorry. It just is, right? I'll play the clip, but he starts asking Drake about the Drake and Party album, and he's waiting on that, and clearly, he's a Drake fan, and I want to hear the Drake Party album too. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do too.
We're all going to listen to it. We're all going to check it out. But he declared rap dead, which, I'll play the clip. Check it out.
Vibes, what are you listening to?
Music-wise?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you and PND to drop that album, which you told me was going to drop 3 weeks ago. You lied to me.
I know, you're right. It's coming.
Okay.
All right.
Can I hear the album tonight?
Yeah, you can, actually, if you want.
All right.
It's pretty much there.
Rap's dead, bro. I'm sorry. It just is.
Let's not go there.
We don't got to go there, but
What up, Paladin?
Let's not go there. You know what? Honesty it'll never die.
Keep it on the full cam. Not die as far as, like, full-on die.
It'll never die. What do you mean? Rappers?
Music's just dry right now, bro. Like, chat, who do y'all listen to right now, bro? Nobody's dropping shit. I don't know, bro.
Just again, so many things wrong. I respect the Drake, man. I know he's had a bad year. We talked about him, way too much on this channel and on this stream. But shout out to Drake for at least like not letting Adin get away with that. And he's like, rap ain't dead, bro. He's like, rap is still alive. Like, Drake has to say, like, Drake, no matter how pop he is going, the man still raps. So he still makes rap music. So for him to be like, to agree with that would be pretty weird. Like, he was like, no, rap ain't dead. Like, we talking about. But Adin to be like, nobody has dropped. Like, what do you listen to, Adin? That's the main thing. What does Adin consume? Because there's a lot of music that drops. It may not be the heavy hitters on a week to week basis who are out of here, who are super popular. Like, you're not getting Travis Scott every week, right? But there was a lot of good music. I would say 2024 was a great year in hip hop alone. It was a great year. We've had some really good albums, mostly from the TDE camp. I would say the TDE camp has won 2024. So again, like, it's a lot of music that I consume on a week to week basis. I'm constantly looking at the new releases and putting stuff that I like on my playlist. So Again, when people say it's the same argument as, when we have the people jumping out the gate talking about there are no video games to play, their video games are dead. And I'm like, you play all the most popular games, and you play that all year round, and you're saying that video games are dead, that there's nothing to play. What are you talking about? This is the stuff that makes me mad, because I'm like, y'all don't get out of y'all comfort zone. Y'all don't explore different things. So you do not have the authority to talk about what's dead and what's not. Stuff is not dead. Stuff is not dead, bro. You just have to go and look for it. Nobody's going to just throw it in your face and be like, here, this is what you need to listen to, or this is what you need to play when it comes to video games. Sometimes you got to go out of your comfort zone and just play and listen to some other stuff, bro. It was funny that ain't saying that Drake told him he released that P&D album 3-4 weeks ago. When you look at the time frame, it's when GNX dropped. Was hilarious. Interesting. So I mean, it's all games here. It's all games. When I'm about to drop something, they do this all the time.
It was a weird NBA season. That's all it was.
It's all right.
It's all good. New season starts in like 5 days anyway.
Facts. Brand new season, brand new year.
So, hey, I want to credit Drake for his response when he's like trying to deflect, right? He's like, honestly, let's not go there. It'll never die.
Either True the Infinite Well got snubbed.
Kind of walked it back.
I knew it wasn't gonna win, so
it's dry right now. Nobody's dropping shit. Here's the thing about me, and y'all know I don't bash anyone really. It's just not my style. Like, man, I could get into the shits, but like unprompted, like I'm just not gonna attack anybody. I'll say I don't agree, and I'll try to be respectful about it. Adin built a large following, built a huge business streaming. He's a young man, but he's smart. He's successful. But the problem starts when you think that your success and the large audience.
Who is Adin Ross when it comes to rap?
Your proximity to rappers gives you the authority to say something like that. For one, he's talking about rap, right? Which is a part of hip hop, and a lot of people conflate the two. Rap is the act of rapping. Anybody could rap, and when I was growing up, Fred Durst rap from Limp Bizkit.
Facts.
Kid Rock rapped,
Facts.
But they made rock music. They weren't necessarily hip hop, right? And you look at where Kid Rock is now, what I'm saying? Not really hip hop. Anyone can rap. Hip hop is the culture, right? It's how we dress. It's how we speak. It's how we talk. It's how we greet each other. It's how we live our life. It's because
you bring artists and you finger the post facts.
And what a lot of people don't understand is it's entertainment for many, but it's really a lifestyle for us, man. And it's really the way we live our lives. Like, we don't, I don't take my hip hop off when the stream ends, right? When I'm not on camera. I mean, this is just who I am. For a lot of my audience, a lot of y'all watching, this is just who we are. It's more than just the music that we consume. It's how we live. But, to me, back to Adin, you can't declare any part of this dead. You don't have the authority or the expertise. Like, what have you actually contributed to this to feel so emboldened to speak on it like that? You know what I mean? And it's a lot of platforms out here and a lot of people who would just tell you anything. But where's the accountability, the responsibility, the self-awareness? Or maybe they are self-aware.
I don't think Adin is self-aware at all. I don't think he's aware at all. And this has been a continuing trend, right? There's been a continuing trend through Adin's career. Adin has got in a lot of trouble because of what he says. And I don't believe Adin thinks before he says anything. And he thinks that he's not going to get caught because, I'm a streamer. You can't pull up on me, but he has literally been pulled up on. So you would think that at some point the light would flicker, like some things will go off in your brain. It'd be like, hey, maybe I should chill out, right? Maybe I should chill out and not be so reckless on some of the things that I say. But this is still going, right? Again, this is harmless, right? Well, what he said here is harmless, but going back in this past beefs, they weren't so harmless because, again, people were upset at him and ready to pull up on him. So this is what I'm saying, bro. And again, Rob just, regurgitated some of the things that I said. Like, what gives you the authority to make a declaration like that? You don't have it. And I'm sorry. Again, the YNs just, they have a lot more living to do. They have a lot more living to do. Adin most likely thinks this because I've hung out with rapper A, B, C, D, E. I'm on the stream with Drake right now that I can stand next to him, that I am his peer, that I am his equal. And Adin, in the world of hip hop, you are not. in the world of hip hop, you are not their equals. You are not their peers. We have literally seen you get fleeced. You got finessed by Playboy Cardi. You thought that was going to be a big moment for you, and you got finessed by Playboy Cardi. You gave him a bag of money, and he stayed on stream for like 2 minutes and then dipped out and sunned your dumb ass. This is stuff I'm talking about. If you were a real authority in hip hop, first of all, you would not let that happen. First of all, you would not let that happen. But second of all, you would have more respect. You would have more respect to even do that. I would not be paying nobody no bag to be coming on stream. That has to be for the love of hip hop, not just because, oh, you were Playboy Cardi or you're an A-list or B-list rapper. I'm going to pay you to come on my stream so I can be cool and all my fans will be happy. Do you actually respect the culture of hip hop? You don't. You just go after whatever you like and anybody who will give you the time of day. And Playboy Cardi gave you the time of day because you are a dummy and he knew that he could fleece you. This is why, bruh. What up, kid next door? Like, is there someone who still listens to hip hop for like the people who say hip hop is dead because they don't even put the effort to look for it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, 21 Savage did it too. So again, like these are the trends that continue to happen, and he still doesn't understand. He still feels like he is their equals, and just because they gave him some attention, that he has the authority and the right to speak on it.
Maybe they just don't give a shit. They partake in the culture. They hang out with rappers, but when it actually boils down to it, they'll shit on the culture.
Yep.
You know why? Because your favorite rapper didn't win a rap battle. It happens. My favorite rapper didn't win a rap battle in 2001, Jay-Z versus Nas. Jay was my favorite. Jay lost. I was still a hip-hop fan. Hip-hop was still alive. I was still, you know what I'm saying? And rap isn't dead because one guy lost the battle. It'll be all right. And, you know, to me, when I speak with y'all, I'm building an audience. I have a responsibility to y'all. And you know, when I'm talking about my audience compared to Adin's, it's oh my God, way smaller. It's not even comparable, right? And even with the audience that I built, even with the numbers that we're building right now, each of those numbers represents a person. That number represents a responsibility, you know? So you have a responsibility with your audience. You got to watch what you say. You know, it's clear why he said it's been a tough year for Drake, man. So he was kind of pandering to Drake. Shout out to Drake for actually deflecting it. Now, Drake did say, oh, you know, it was a weird NBA season, right? And I'll take
also,
that.
You feel like you need to start specifying some sub-dramas. Yeah.
It's been a weird year in hip-hop for Drake because the tables turned on him. All the things that worked for him for so many years, right, stopped working this year. Didn't work out the way it normally works out for him. So for him to say, it was a weird NBA season, I get that. I cool. You know, I actually respect the fact that he deflected that he said, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it can never die.
Yeah, so that's it. So that's what Rob Markman said. Literally, he said nothing disrespectful. He didn't say F Adin Ross. He didn't say none of that stuff. He was just like, what gives you the authority to say that? Like, I understand that you hang out with these rappers, but you don't have the authority to say this. Like, you're taking up for Drake, and you know, shout out to Drake for not allowing that to happen, to not let that slide. So that's that. That's the gist of what Rob Markman said. So again, I had a problem with what Flacco said, but it gets worse because as you look at this thread, Flacco still doesn't understand when people are legit telling him that Rob Markman is more hip hop than Adin Ross, and why Rob Markman is more hip hop than Adin Ross. He still doesn't understand. I'm like, Flacco, can you be this dense? Like, are you truly this dense, or are you just trying to rage bait at this point? Because I don't know. But I'm just like, I'm looking at the comments and I'm like, dog, you still don't get it. You're replying to people and you're still like, oh, so that makes him more hip hop. Like, what are you trying to get to here? Or why are you on this mission to prove that Adin Ross is more hip hop than Rob Markman, or anybody for that matter? Or anybody. I can say it right now, I'm more hip hop than Adin Ross. I'm older than him. I've experienced more than him. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to say that. But somebody like Flacco will be like, oh, because you don't know any rappers, you don't hang out with them, that you're not more hip hop than them. And that's not how this works. Like, that is not how this works. If you have more knowledge and more experience than the other person, then yeah, that will make you more of an authority. That's how life works. It's not just because you hang out with some rappers. Like what? So I don't know Rob before this bid, but he's saying 10 times more hip hop than Adin Ross. No, he is. Like I said, I don't expect everybody to know Rob Markman. I don't expect everybody to know Rob Markman. He's been in the behind the scenes for a while, and most recently, he started up his YouTube channel, so now he's more out there. But that's okay though. You don't have to know who people like Rob are. Like I've even been introduced to more people who are pillars of hip hop on YouTube this year alone. Because a lot more of them popped out and started, doing more of their own content after or during the Drake and Kendrick beef. So again, I don't expect everybody to know, who all these people are, but once you know, right? Once you know. So going through this thread a little bit, Prolog just said Negro said more hip hop than Adin Ross laughs. Adin uses rap to bob his head to. He is not educated in rap history or influential in rap. 100% facts. It's his background. It is background music to him and other use. And then Flocko responded, being familiar with the history of hip hop makes you hip hop. So he's asking another question. And again, this is a dumb question to ask. Yes, Negro. Yes. Being familiar with the history of hip hop makes you more hip hop. And it really is that simple. Right? It really is that simple. Someone replied to him and say, yes, along with the love for it. You're so used to seeing popular streamers who claim to be hip hop and have absolutely zero knowledge of the history, though, that y'all let that stuff like that pass. Your Lord and Savior Academics is 100% not hip hop. He's a lover of mainstream rap music. And I would say that Academics is a little bit more hip hop. Like I would say that Academics through time has kind of grown on me, but back in the day, again, just him with the chat niggas and YNs, like he still panders to them because that's his main crowd. But Academics was tripping back then. He was definitely tripping, but I think over time he became a lot more journalistic. Like even though he still be crashing out a lot, but he's become a lot more journalistic when it comes to hip hop and respecting it. But again, Academics still, at a lot of times, again, going back to Drake and the glazing of him, he gets to tunnel vision. And then he just starts crashing out over whoever his favorite rapper is. And then again, he made so many people mad in the industry. It ain't even funny. So, but I would say he's more hip hop than Adin Ross for sure. But yeah, Academics is on that spectrum. So I wouldn't defend Academics in any other fashion. Someone would say he ain't hip hop. Cause it's just a lot of things. He's kind of the same way. Like he disrespected so many people and, but he's calmed down a lot since back then in his Warren Chirac days. Let me see. He responded to he responded to this person. He said Rob Markman is black, and then Flacco responded Rob is white. This person said, for real, all these years I thought he was mixed with black and Latino. Don't tell me Rob Muslim Sean King. He's not. Rob's mom is. This person replied, Rob's mom is black. His dad is Puerto Rican. Don't let Flacco's engagement baiting himself tell you otherwise. Like, he said, what about Trap Lord Raw? Trap Lord Ross is more hip hop. He definitely more hip hop than Adin. But again, I don't think that a lot of people who are Caucasian, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that they will be more authoritarian than the OGs who are black or other culture, black or Latino. I don't think that in a lot of people's eyes that they would be an authoritarian. But Trap Lord Ross, even though he has pissed people off too, some of his videos are definitely very informative. He definitely does a lot of his research. So I would say in the grand scheme of things and based on how long he's been doing it, I would think he does have the right to say that he is an authority to an extent. He's not a gatekeeper, but I think that he would have a lot more say in the grand scheme of things than somebody else. Okay, and then this person say, is this a real question? How is a veteran hip-hop journalist who's the head of artist relations at Genius more hip-hop than a white boy streamer who vultures the culture for attention and glory? And then he put a screenshot here of Rob Markman. So literally, again, Genius. Rob Markman is a veteran hip-hop journalist and Genius head of artist relations. He got to start freelancing for publications like Complex, The Source, blah, blah, blah. So again, Rob Markman has been to these, strictly hip-hop centric forums here. He has been around. Complex, The Source genius. Like these are the accolades that he had. This is the resume that Rob Markman has. So again, he's not just a nobody who came out of nowhere and had an opinion about Adin, you know, just out the blue. Like this man has the right to speak, right? He has the right to speak. And so Flacco asked again, and he said, I'll ask again, how does this make him more hip hop than Adin? So he is doubling down and asking the question again. Why? You see his accolades. You clearly don't know who Rob Markman is. Somebody posted a screenshot of Rob Markman's accolades, and you still double down and ask the question again. This is being disingenuous. He is legit trying to, he's not asking the question just to ask the question and be educated. He's asking the question because he, in his mind, he thinks that Adin is more hip hop than Rob Markman, and he is trying to double down and triple down against everyone else who were trying to tell him that no, that is not the case. And like I said, why are you asking this dumb question? Why are you asking it again? Like, somebody else said, what does Adin do again? What does he know about hip hop? What's his contribution to hip hop? What does he know about hip hop culture? Not a damn thing. And then Flacco responded, what does Rob do that Adin don't do? Again, no hate. I'm just curious why you put them in different boxes. What does Rob do that Adin don't do? What is this man talking about, yo? What is he talking about? Somebody else said, Rob has lived and breathed hip hop his whole life. He really loves this shit. Bringing race into it is corny. Then Flacco said, race is corny, but you watched this video on Adin where race was the point of discussion and you loved it. Assuming that he's white is funny. Do your homework before talking race. Again, Flacco just needs to do a quick Google search, bro. I hate these people who just go on the internet asking these dumb questions and you don't do your research. Flacco, you were supposed to do your research. You were on No Jumper, bro. You're supposed to do your research. You have your own channel. You're supposed to do your research. Happy New Year, Ibizu. Happy New Year. Flacco been on a downward spiral to me like the fatter version of Fresh. So again, man, y'all get the gist, bro. Y'all get the gist. He's just being very disingenuous, very dense, and he just doesn't want to accept the fact after multiple people have told him. After multiple people told him, this is what Rob Markman does. This is what Rob Markman has done in his life. He lives and breathes hip hop. You cannot say or bring up this question and expect people to agree with you. Literally nobody in this thread is agreeing with them. Literally nobody. I ain't seen not one person be like, yeah, I agree with you. Adin is more hip hop than Rob Markman because he hangs out with all these rappers. Nobody is saying this here. Nobody. Everybody is saying Rob is more hip hop than Adin. Like, this is just, I was just like, Flacco, like, come on, man. Like, please, man. It's very annoying. Very annoying. So I get the gist of it. We won't have to go any further, but I thought that this was a good topic to at least discuss because stuff like this again pisses me off, and this is why we need to continue to gatekeep, because we have these people with these platforms who claim that they are hip-hop and that they know hip-hop culture, but they're just tourists. They're just visitors, you know. Again, this is the difference between going back to video game terms when we talk about hardcore gamers and we talk about gamers who just play one or two games and that's all that they play all year. Yeah, you may be hardcore in terms of like time spent, but you're not a hardcore gamer in the overall spectrum because you only play one or two games. You don't expand your palette. You don't play other types of games. So I don't consider you a hardcore gamer. And it's in that same aspect, I don't consider you an authoritarian. I don't consider you an authority. I don't consider you to be an influencer for talking about video games because you don't really know anything about video games for real. You just play one or two games. You could talk about those in length, but when you coming over here talking about Baldur's Gate 3 is trash, that it shouldn't have won Game of the Year, that you know, other games like that should have won Game of the Year, and you've never played it and you never heard of it, this is when I get pissed off. Because again, who are you? Who are you to say video games are dead? Who are you to say this game is not Game of the Year and Spider-Man should have won? But that's all that you play. You know, you play those super popular games, and you don't take the time to do your research and understand why this game over here has certain accolades and why everybody's playing it and clamoring about it and talking about it. You know, you just want to be a part of the conversation. but you don't know shit about what's going on over here. It's an A and B conversation. See your way out, right? Again, it gets annoying, right? It gets annoying. So that's just my take on it. That's just my take. They usually have convos with people like they're trying to convince a village idiot that they're wrong, like trying to convince a child to eat more vegetables or candy, right? Why do research if you could be allowed ignorant or wrong, right? Bro, you make an excellent argument. Some space and need gatekeeping. There are too many goofs. Yeah, it's too many goofs, man. The internet is great, but at the same time, it's also very bad. It's a gift and a curse because it gives, again, like you said, Liquid, the village idiot, it gives everyone a voice to speak. And not everybody needs to speak, bro. A lot of these comments, I wish that people just kept to themselves because it's ignorant, right? And you just make yourself look stupid at the end of the day. Blocko looks dumb because you said this. Why? It's no point in you even asking this question. You just think that Rob Markman just talked about him out of nowhere and that he's being hated. He's being hateful, but he wasn't. If you watch the video, he wasn't hating on anything. That man was very respectful. Very respectful. He just said, look, Adin doesn't have the authority to talk about hip hop. That's it. You know, that's it. So, so that's my rant on it. That's my